In the previous game, we had a lot of complaints about people who were prone, and they'd say, well, grenade landed near me, I need to get up, start running. So we've taken that feedback into account. So now, you just start sprinting while prone, you get up into a crouch sprint, start moving, let go, you're back down and prone, ready to go. We've also, as you might have seen there, optimized our machine gun deploy. As soon as you go prone, your machine gun immediately goes to the deployed state. So there's just one less click for the user to do. Simplified it, optimized it. Now the player will also automatically pick up the machine gun and replace it when moving around. No need to undeploy. One of the cool new things we've just recently added in with the light machine guns, and I'll show this again with our heavy machine gun system, is in the old game, once user was deployed, if they wanted to reload or change the barrel of their, change the barrel of their machine gun, they either had to stay deployed and be exposed, or they had to undeploy, go prone, redeploy, do all that, come back up, and then deploy again. This time we've added a new feature which we think people will really like, where you just crouch while staying deployed, and you can go ahead and check your ammo, reload, immediately pop back up and keep going on with the fight. What I'm going to be demoing here for you is our new heavy machine gun system and give you an explanation of how it works, and I'm also going to cheat a little bit and show you suppression. But as you can see here, this is a heavy machine gun mounted on a tripod. We just recently fully implemented them in game. Player walks up to them, hits use, and attaches. Like with light machine guns, the player can crouch behind it and even blind fire these devices. But these are a new terror to the battlefield that gives the enemy team something to shoot at, and a sniper is a new primary target to take out, because a skilled man on one of these can quickly dominate the battlefield. How these machine guns work is our mappers place them throughout the maps as they deem fit, but they're not always in every location. The map will determine on load which ones it wants to spawn, which one it doesn't, so you never know where exactly they will be every time. Like there's another location right down there where there is also a heavy machine gun in place, and there's one up here, so these are probably the two the map decided to spawn for the German team this time around. How the suppression system works is bullets that pass around the player or even impact near the player. Let's say if you're in a window, rounds that are impacting the sides of that window will count towards suppression. And suppression, as you'll see, will desaturate the screen, and it has some other effects. Makes the recoil a little bit harder to manage, and so it just helps prevent players from instantly popping up and shooting back at somebody who's laying down fire on them, especially at range. It's especially useful for machine gunners and some of the classes with larger caliber weapons. I need a couple more shots. There we go. Here you can see the suppression effect there, and you start to hear the sound of my heartbeat. That lets you know you're being suppressed as the screen desaturates. As I pull up the tactical menu here, you will see a suppression bar. As that goes down to fully suppressed, it becomes harder and harder for players to actually effectively return fire. As you can hear, my heartbeat's beating pretty heavily. And the counter for this is players who enter cover will regain suppression, their suppression bar faster, and as well as be less, have a little bit less suppression on them. So it gives players another reason to stick their heads down and stay in cover. So you can see it's coming back up when I'm not being shot at pretty quickly here. As I'm sure we've told you before, our tanks take about 3 months to produce one tank. So that's why we're only going to be shipping with two, the T-34 and the Panzer IV. However, because of that, we have a fully realized interior with crew that are fully animated and do their jobs. So you can see here, I'm going to start driving, and the crew member is going to be doing his job. We have interaction points around the tank that you can, as you can see here, there's a little icon that lets you know it's an interaction point. That's probably not final art, but we plan to have several of these spread throughout the tank. I'm going to drive over here to the rail yard on this map and give you an example of our destruction system, once again in action with the tanks. One of the major complaints we heard from the first game is, well, I'm in a tank and I just got stopped by a small wooden fence. Well, we're happy to tell our players that is no longer an issue this time around. You can either run into the fence and knock it to the ground, or put a few rounds into it and destroy it completely. While crew are alive in your tank, you can instantly switch between positions and take over their role. You can see another interaction point. However, if a crew member dies, then you actually have to physically move to that crew member's position. I believe we've shown that to you guys before, but I'm not sure if we've shown you this. Is now there we have a command system where I'm sitting here as the commander and I'm giving my driver orders to drive me around the battlefield, since I do have a AI driver in the seat. As the commander, I can also tell the gunner I want him to aim over here. And we haven't finished hooking it up yet, but soon you'll be able to give your gunner targets and have him start firing at enemy positions. A brief example, just to show you again, is I'll kill off my driver. Since we have a much more detailed tanking system this time around, where we have many things on the exterior of the tank that can be destroyed, such as optics by more small arms fire, as well as things inside the tank that can be damaged. But one of the new things that can be damaged this time around is the actual crew. And when that happens, the player will actually have to physically transfer himself into the position where the crew member was lost. Now, I think I know where I took that shot from that killed my driver. Very mad. Gonna blow up this house. And so, as we've said before, we have the ability to destroy whatever we want and as much as we want, but we pretty much only destroy small things such as fences and walls completely. For the larger objects, such as houses, we leave the shell behind because in reality, odds are you won't completely flatten it, and it's much more fun to fight over ruins than flat ground.